All right, hello wine drinking people. I'm back. It is Wednesday, July 21st. That's right, folks. I've just spent a week in Texas visiting my little brother Don, my sister-in-law Cara, and their 3 children, Galvin, Naya, and Caden. The kids had a great time playing in the beach house in Galveston, but it's nice to be home. And that's my last trip pretty much for this year, maybe a few weekend getaways. But back to the grind here at the Wine Watch. This week, well, tomorrow night, we've got Peter Gago in town. And that event is sold out. That's the only event we've got this week. This is our annual event we do with the release of the Penfolds Grange. We'll be showing the 2005 tomorrow night. And again, I'm sorry, that event is sold out. So what have I got to sell you today? All right, well, we have got an incredible selection of sweet things here in the store. And I am a big fan of dessert wine. 2 of my favorites are what we're focusing on in this offering: the sweet wines of Bordeaux, Sauternes, and the sweet wines of Oporto in Portugal, Port. And we've got an incredible selection of Sauternes going back to, I think, the 1971 Chateau Yquem is the oldest wine on this offering, and a slew of recent things. 2001, we bought big in Sauternes, not considered a great vintage in Bordeaux, but the conditions for making the sweet wines of Bordeaux very different than making the red dry wines or the white dry wines. There's a rot that sets in on the grapes after harvest called Botrytis cinerea, and this is the rot that makes Sauternes unique and so great. It basically shrivels the grapes up. They look like a little moldy mass of nasty, rotten grapes, and pretty much takes the water content out of them and leaves the wine after you make it, after it's been molded, with this lovely honeyed character. And the grapes do not always get this because you don't always get a lot of moisture at the time of harvest or just after that, which is what you need to make great sweet wines. But that is not what you need to make dry red wines. You do not want moldy, rotty grapes. So 2001, a good vintage in Bordeaux, an outstanding vintage for Sauternes, as was 2003, as was 2005. Usually the quality is a little more variable with Sauternes than it has been with the red wines of Bordeaux lately, but there's not a lot of customers for these wines. A lot of people think sweet wines should be had for dessert. One of the things that is very popular with Sauternes in Bordeaux: raw oysters. There's a little town called Aquachon right on the coast there where they have some fabulous oysters, and they'll do Sauternes before the meal with just raw oysters. That salty and savory combination with sweet wine, very good. And one of the things, the hallmark of a great sweet wine, is high acidity on the finish, which refreshes the palate and leaves it dry. So very sweet up front, refreshing and dry on the finish. And these wines also go great with Thai food. We did this Korean barbecue while I was on vacation, or Tony did, was fantastic with Sauternes, which is what I had with it, the Demal 2003. Delicious. All right, port, the other type of sweet wine we're offering. Well, this is a fortified wine. One of the ways you can make sweet wines is to arrest the fermentation, to stop the fermentation, the sugar converting into alcohol, by adding a neutral spirit, alcohol, into the wine. This is what they do in Oporto. And we have got an incredible selection of port here in the store at Wine Watch going back to 1937. Check it out on this offer. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposone, back from vacation, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.